Good evening and welcome to the Oneonta City School District Board of Education Reorganizational meeting. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mrs. Ranieri McGinnis, please raise your right hand and recite the oath of the board clerk, please.
I, Regina Ranieri McGinnis, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of district clerk for the Oneonta City School District according to the best of my ability.
Thank you. If you would, at this time, please administer the oath to Mrs. Kurkowski and Mr. Iannelli.
I, Susan Kurkowski, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of the Oneonta City School District Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Can we get you to sign it? Mr. Iannelli, please raise your right hand and recite your oath.
I, Michael Iannelli, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of a member of the Oneonta City School Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Thank you so much. Could you please sign it? Welcome.
Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Mike, for your interest and for the contribution that you'll make to our district. So thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Grau.
Here.
Mrs. Burnsworth.
Here.
Mrs. Kurkowski.
Here.
Mr. Baseford.
Here.
Mr. Beckering.
Here.
Mrs. Cashman.
Here.
Mr. Iannelli.
Here.
Thank you.
At this time, I will seek nomination for President of the Board of Education.
I'll nominate Bill Grau.
Second.
No others?
We had a second.
We had a second.
Oh, we had a second.
I said second.
We had a lot of seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Mr. Grau. Mr. Grau. Like to ask you to raise your right hand and recite the oath.
I, Bill Grau, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of President of the Oneonta City School District Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grau. Seek nomination for Vice President of the Board of Education.
I move to vote Amy Burnsworth for Vice President for the Board of Education.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
I, Amy Burnsworth, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will fully discharge the duties of Vice President of the Oneonta City School District Board of Education according to the best of my ability.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
I would just like to thank you all. This is not easy work that you all do, and certainly appreciate
all of your support and everything you do for the district. So thank you. Mr. Brown, the meeting is yours. All right, thank you. Resolved to accept the agenda as presented. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved to approve the appointment of officers for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
So, second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolved to approve the following appointments for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
Second.
Any discussion here? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolved to approve the following designations for the 2021-2022 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolved to appoint the following authorizations for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Resolved to approve the following items for the 2021-2022 school year as presented.
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, included in the agenda online was the designation of the committees, and just a reminder that if you could email me, I did get Sean's email, and Mike and Sue. You could let me know what committees you're interested in being on. And this meeting kind of seems kind of weird. This is basically, we're appointing everything for the school year, and it's all in the agenda online. And we do follow a consent agenda, so we don't actually read every item that's out there.
Since I didn't send my email, can I just say now that I'm on the committees already? And then
You wanna
I-
stay there? That's right. Maybe I'll remember that.
I'll send an email.
All right, resolve to adjourn and move to our regular meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The reorg meeting is adjourned. And we'll call to order the regular meeting for the Oneonta City School District Board of Education, July 7th, 2021. Resolved to approve the agenda for the July 7th, 2021 regular meeting as amended.
So second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolved to approve the minutes for the June 9th, 2021 Oneonta City School District Board of Education meeting as presented.
So moved.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, this brings us to our first opportunity to address the board. We do have people attending in public. Is there anyone online?
Nope.
Okay,
There's two participants, but nobody,
I think Darren's one, right? Oh, no.
no.
Oh, no, I'm not logged on to that.
Okay.
I'm on board docs.
All right, there is another opportunity later in the agenda if you feel so inclined. Resolved that the reading of the non-certificated personnel memorandum 2021-11 be waived and that the action items dated July 7th, 2021 be approved as recommended by the superintendent of schools.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Yes, Mr. Grau, members of the board, you'll notice in the supporting materials for the non-certified personnel memorandum, it is filled with substitutes, school monitors, and with student workers. And I would just like to thank them for the role that they play. It's very important in what we do here. So really happy that we're starting to come back online and get people back working in our district. So I would also point out that you will notice the restoration of a custodial worker in the non-certified memorandum. If you recall, a few years ago, we accessed 3 of those positions. We're bringing 1 back. We feel that that person could serve an important role between Center Street and Riverside. So that is in our personnel memorandum. And you will also notice the restoration of the director's facility position. That was a position that we had for many years that I've assumed for the last 3. But with a district of this size, and certainly with the sophistication of the life systems, our heating, our cooling, our alarms, we do really need someone who can, truly be focused on that full time. We have a large custodial crew, grounds crew, and maintenance, and there's a lot of moving parts. And along with that, this person would assume responsibility over transportation, which I believe that I've served in that role for at least 10 years now. But truly need someone who can, fully commit to that all the time. So you will see that there as well. I'm excited about that position. I knew when, I had sent something out to our community toward the end of the school year. That was something truly that we do need a director of facilities, but was hesitant to even broach that subject because, I wanted to make sure that we had the pieces in place to meet the needs of our students first. As we get into the personnel memorandum, you're going to see that intervention is truly at the forefront of us moving forward. So I'm excited about all the parts and pieces that we're presenting tonight.
When do you anticipate having a director of facilities on board?
I wish tomorrow. But you know what, we'll post maybe tomorrow or later this week, and we'll see what kind of response we get. So hopefully before this capital project is done. So as far as non-certified, that's all I have. Any questions or discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
I just want to note that my son's name is in there as a sub, which he does that when he's home from school.
Okay, thank you. Resolved that the reading of the teaching and administrative personnel memorandum 2021-11 be waived and the addendum be waived, and that the action items dated July 7th, 2021 be approved as recommended by the superintendent of schools.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All right, I feel I should have water for this, but there's a lot going on in our certified personnel memorandum this evening. First, I'd like to begin by wishing Megan Dyer all the best in her retirement. Megan has served our district so very well over the years, and she has been able to reach the hearts and minds of students through music. And she is going to be missed, but we certainly wish her all of the very best. And also wish Mr. Dakota Inman all the best. Honestly, it's kind of rare when someone leaves our district, but Mr. Inman, just the Adirondacks was calling his name. And many weekends, he would show up to work with a kayak or something on his vehicle, because as soon as school was out, he was off up north, and he was able to land a middle school teaching job up in the Adirondacks, and he's going to be wonderful. But we were fortunate to have him here with us for a while. So as you know, anytime that we have a vacancy, we of course want to fill those vacancies with professionals. But we also, and if not equally, but more important, we're looking for people who can forge positive relationships with kids and their families and their colleagues. And in front of you is a full slate of those people this evening. But would certainly like to welcome Mrs. Abigail Losey to our Yellow Jacket family. Mrs. Losey comes to us from Delaware County. I've had the pleasure of knowing and working with Abby for years as we've served on the Delhi Advantage committees over the years. In her position over at Delaware County, she has created and maintained some very innovative programming. And she's going to do wonderful here, and we're very excited to have you here, so welcome. Also like to welcome Mrs. Amanda Mathewson to our Yellow Jacket family as curriculum coordinator, working alongside Mrs. Moore, our director of curriculum instruction. This is also a restoration of a previous position in our district. Many of you may recall years ago when Mrs. Moore was the curriculum coordinator and Mrs. Karen Rowe was the director of curriculum instruction. And that was a very exciting time in our district. One of the things weeks ago, collaboratively, we discussed deficiencies in our district and things that we want to improve upon, and intervention, and especially with Mrs. Grimm on board now, intervention rose to the forefront, as well as the responses from our parent, faculty, and staff survey as well. That was clearly the focus. So with Mrs. Mathewson working in our Office of Curriculum and Instruction, I'm super excited about what's going to be coming out of there, not only in terms of professional development, but academic intervention, response to intervention, curriculum mapping, scope and sequence. Really, it's going to be exciting. All of those things were in place years ago when Colleen and Karen were in that office, and unfortunately, once we lost Colleen to another district and Karen to retirement, even the year that I spent as the assistant superintendent taking on that responsibility as well, it's a lot to do it well for a district of this size. So Amanda, welcome, and looking forward to working along with you. So, all right, now you will notice we have some Yellow Jackets coming back to the Hive. Both Madison Miller and Kiara Lehman are Yellow Jacket alums. Madison will be teaching the middle school, and Kiara will be teaching at Riverside. So, very exciting. Welcome to Laura Kitty-Sue, who will be teaching visual arts at Valley View in the middle school. Welcome to Justine Gross, who will be a world language teacher in the high school. Robert Converse, who will be a special education teacher down at Greater Plains. Stephen Semple, who will be also a special education teacher at the high school. Sierra Birdsall, who will be teaching at Valley View, and Nicole Scott, who will be at Valley View as well. It's a very exciting time, and we welcome all of our new Yellow Jackets to our family. So we're excited. Other than that, that's all I have for you, which I know probably is a lot. But
That's it.
any discussion, questions?
I feel like we should have a round of applause.
Yeah. Assuming the vote is going to be positive. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you and welcome. All right. Okay, superintendent's report. I just want to again, Mr. Iannelli, just very quickly, project update. If you've been near Silas Lane anytime over the last week and a half, you'll notice that milling and repaving project is moving forward. If you've been near Riverside, you see all where the majority of our buses park down there. And here at the Great Barn, you see all of our maintenance and grounds vehicles. But today, when I stopped down there, they were doing some drainage basin work, which is great. The one basin issue down there has led to a couple of flat tires because it is steel that has gotten mangled over the years. So they're doing a nice job down there. We anticipate that that may be another 3 weeks in the making. Shortly after that, there will be new aluminum doors that will be installed down at the bus garage, not the overhead doors, but actually the human being doors that have over the years experienced corrosion and rusting. So that'll be later this month as well. So, and lastly, I just want to say that I'm thrilled that we enjoyed a really wonderful graduation on the 26th. It was very nice, and it was truly, the pinnacle of a very difficult year. So I certainly want to wish congratulations and best wishes to all of our graduates and their families, because it was difficult for them as well. Other than that, that's all I have for you.
Any questions for Tom? Okay, we'll move down to the financial memorandum. Resolved that the reading of the financial memorandum 2021-10 be waived, and that the financial action items dated July 7th, 2021 be approved as recommended by the superintendent of schools.
So moved.
Second. That's good. Joyce, good.
Is that, do we have to do that in our general meeting?
Yeah.
We do? Okay,
Yeah, we'll go back to it.
okay. Want me to do financial?
Let's do financial, and then we'll go back to it.
All right, in Mrs. Week's absence, I will share with you, this is a long financial memorandum as well. Item 1 is just our annual approval to administer the task tests to Job Corps students. That's something we do every year. Number 2 is a food service contract extension. This is for Compass Group, which is the umbrella group for Chartwell's, who does provide our cafeteria service. Number 3 is our food service budget. Interestingly enough, with the free and reduced meals now, you had asked a question, how does that benefit us? They have, we've noticed a significant increase in the reimbursement rates. So we think this is going to benefit us in a positive way. So that's a good thing. The interlocking purchasing system, this truly is just a purchasing network. And this was recommended by Paul Bedford, our architect, to provide another option for project-related work. We are employing that now with some of the work that we're doing, and we did find a lot of that pricing very competitive. So it's positive. Health Services City School District of Albany. We're required to pay this. We have 3 Oneonta City School District residents who attend school, private school in Albany. So that's a required item for us. Number 6 is our work experience agreements. This is an agreement with the CDO workforce. This allows us to place a student worker as a custodial assistant over the summer. That's the agreement there. 7 is our risk assessment. And that is something, that response will be submitted to you as a board for approval after review by our financial and audit committee. So that'll be forthcoming. Physical therapy services agreement, annual agreement with Cooperstown to share the services of our physical therapist, Mrs. Emily Price, who does a wonderful job for us. We're lucky to have her. The extended day program budget, there is a $5 increase in fees for this school year. Number 10 are some surplus items. As you can see, we have some vehicles in there, as well as 2 of our buses, and they will all go on Auctions International and see if we can recoup some money for them. Number 11, free and reduced lunch. This is just a required annual approval. Number 12 is our finance committee meeting schedule. We are not meeting in July, but we will soon, especially as all the committees come together. Durham School Service rental agreement. This is the agreement that we make with Durham who, not only runs our transportation, but runs, does work for Otsego County out of there. They pay us $1,000 per month for that. Treasurer's report, just standard report that you have, and there are 2 change orders. The last one is a final change order, so that will finish up Pickerilli, Slavic, and Vincent plumbing and heating, which is good news. It's good when we can start, closing things out. So that concludes the financial memorandum. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Circle back to the thing I crossed off too quickly. We do need to waive the second reading and adopt the dress code. So resolved to adopt the revised dress code in the code of conduct policy pursuant to board policy. Any discussion? I think we had enough early. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, this brings us to our second opportunity to address the board. So Colleen, are there anything in the chat?
There is not, we have 2 of our new folks that are just participants right now,
Okay,
Madison Miller and Heather Key.
all right. Any comments from the people here in attendance after 18 months?
Hi, I'm Justine Rose. I just want to introduce myself and say thank you. I'm excited to be part of that.
You're welcome.
Are you any relation to Anthony Ropes?
He's my husband.
Okay.
Mr. Beaster, you don't remember me? Oh my God.
Oh. Welcome. Open mouth, insert.
Anything else? So we'll move down to round table. Start down Sue.
So just, I know Jeremy's doing the same thing, but I'm not on my phone. I mean, I'm on my phone, but I'm doing Word docs, which all of our supporting documents are on, because we don't get them on paper. So just so you know, that's what I was doing. I want to welcome everyone that we approved tonight. Really, I wish my kids were still in the school, just had mine graduate, but my youngest, but I'm excited for where we're going and to see how things go this coming year, and returning to some definite normalcy anyway. And Tom touched on graduation. It was awesome. It was a little emotional because it is my third and the baby, and I'm all done with kids at school. Although we're empty nesters now, so we're kind of excited. It wound up being a really good day, and I think that the kids appreciated it, and it was just exciting that we could actually do that, because at the beginning of the school year, we didn't know. In fact, 2 months ago, we didn't even know that we were going to be able to do that. And the only other thing I have is that all of the lifeguards that we just hired were all trained at the Y, so it's just exciting for me. But that's all I have.
Okay.
Thanks. Oh, and welcome.
Thank you. So I'm gonna jump down to Colleen because I have made her go last. And as soon as Sue came out of my mouth, I'm like, I want to go that way.
So just want to say welcome to Mike. It's an exciting time to be on the board, that's for sure, with all these new things happening. And welcome back to Sue and Reggie down at the other end of the table. I never get to sit next to you, so I never get to chat. And, congratulations to Bill and Amy on another tenure. It's a dynamic duel, I'm going to call you. welcome to everyone that's new. I know it's been, it's always exciting when you apply to a new job and then you're finally hired and then it's like, now you get to wait for 3 months before you actually start the job. As far as having kids in the classroom, but, and I'm excited as well for what's gonna happen in the fall and there's so many new faces as well. Yeah, I think that we've all had a long year and summer is here. The weather is semi-nice. Committee-wise, we've had a few diversity, equity, and inclusion meetings. We have another one coming up next week on the 14th at 4 o'clock. Where we're still trying to finalize our mission statement and the values. So hopefully we'll get that down pat. Take some time. Then I'm gonna wait for Sean. Sean's gonna like take it.
I wasn't sure if you're gonna.
No,
You can save me for last.
I also wanted to welcome everyone, a lot of slides.
Yeah, it's true.
And welcome to the Hive. I'm excited for everyone. I want to welcome Ms. Losi, again, Mr. Stevens. I also wanted to point out that we haven't lost Mr. Ballard. He is moving to Greater Plains, so we're really happy to have him in that capacity.
Thank you.
So, and congratulations to Mrs. Dyer for her retirement, and Mr. Inman was a favorite in the middle school, so we're excited for him, but sad to see him go. So, graduation was beautiful. Really, really nice to be out in the field on a nice day. Darren's head proves it. So. Yeah, didn't you, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
That's all I have.
I'll let you go next.
I would ask. Well, congratulations to all the new employees. It's a great mixture of some Oneonta, former Oneonta. It's always nice to see some Oneonta kids come back. And Kira, you're not supposed to be a teacher yet already. You graduated with my oldest daughter, and I can't believe that she, is at that age, because she is a teacher now, but they still seem like little kids to me, but I guess not. But welcome, and a good combination of Unitigo and Oneonta students, so that's good. Welcome, Justine, Maraglio, Rose, and good luck to everyone else as well. Thanks again for Amy and Bill for stepping up and for vice president of the board. It's you don't get a lot of thanks and everything, 1 or 2 times a year. Thanks for what you do, but you guys do a lot. You make our jobs a lot easier. So thank you very much. Also like to congratulate Megan Dyer for her retirement and wish her good luck as well. She always had put on great concerts. Kids did a great job, and she will be definitely missed. And it's just nice to see everybody's faces again and see smiles and everything else. So that's a good feeling. That's all I have.
All right, Sean.
You stole it from me, Darren. That was my comment, was what a breath of fresh air to finally see faces in front of us instead of staring at each other. And just
I stole it from you.
You did, right there, you took it from me, but it is, it's so nice to finally have people here. Yes, I know we still have them out there, but it's, open the doors. We got our masks off for those who are vaccinated and those who aren't, still using the precautions. So again, thank you for attending this evening. I think, listen to Tom talking about the hiring of personnel and non certified personnel, that after that whole list that came out, it's a win. It's really a win for everybody, even, with Megan retiring, congratulations to her. Because like I've always said, once you make it to that retirement, you made it to the finish line. So congratulations. And Dakota leaving to go do something he's always wanted to do, that's, again, it's a win. So I get that list that's sent out to us, it's about this long, and unfortunately I don't have it in front of me, it's kind of frustrating, but. And I turned off my phone because I typically get phone calls from my family while in the middle of the meeting, so I turned it off. So again, I want to congratulate everybody who was hired and who's moving on to the next part of their life. And again, the transfers with Joe going to the grade school, again, it's all going to be, it's a good thing for our community, for our kids. And I've said it time and time again, this is all, what we do is for our kids. That's the bread and butter of this whole business that we run here, and our students. So that, and committee-wise, speaking to Tom before tonight's meeting, we're moving forward, hopefully, with our safety committee regarding the two-way communication system here in the high school, middle school, with hopefully down the road, making it a much larger scale. But right now, we're in the early stages of it, and that was all because of the whole COVID thing that really kind of knocked us backwards. So I'm looking forward to what the meeting comes out, next week or this week, when we find out where we're going with this thing. Other than that, at the graduation, I will say that Sue actually held it up the best compared to this one. But I'm sure that, you bet last child family.
He's not as excited
I know.
as the empty nest.
I know, I even said it to that empty nest, but again, congratulations to you two, your children are finally out, and the rest of us are going through it. And it is an emotional time for students to watch them walk in front of you with those cats and gowns and try to keep it together. You did well, I'll give you that there. You did great. So that was a great day for all for graduation, and I hope all those students who walk, they finally reach the goals they're trying to reach. And it's not an easy way to do it, but you'll get there someday. So other than that, I'm gonna stop and I'll let Michael speak for his first time, and I didn't get a chance to congratulate him. I was away for the last. Congratulations to doing everything.
I won't be as long-winded as you.
I like that.
You'll never.
Again, congratulations to the new hirees and the repositions of Joe Ballard. That's great. I'm excited about joining the board, excited to work with all of you, and ready to get to work.
Right. Thanks. I'll congratulate Megan also. We have children the same age, they grew up together, so very happy for her. Wish her the best. Congratulations to the new hires, and it is weird because, as Darren mentioned, I've known Kira and Madison Miller for a very long time because they're the same age as my kids, and they've grown up together. So I'm happy for you. I'm feeling really old again. But, it's great that students want to come back here and be a part of what we do. And I think it says a lot for what happens in these buildings, that kids want to come back and work here and be a part of that. So welcome and thank you. And Mike, welcome again. As I said the other day, thank you for volunteering. And people often say this is a thankless job, but I don't think so, because Kira is a perfect example, because that's the thanks right there. And attending graduation is the thanks. And really I hope you find it as rewarding as I have, and I think that everyone else does. So welcome and thank you for being here. Couple procedural things. We're gonna try and go back to using board docs to run the meetings. Reggie wants to give it a shot. So the next time we'll have to work out logistically whether or not we bring our own devices, or if we can get Chromebooks here. I think it might be easier if we use district issue, because they're on the network and all of those things. But we're gonna give that a shot and see if we can make it flow a little better than we have in the past. We also, obviously, we have people in person, and we are streaming it, and I think we ought to consider whether or not we want to continue that practice. And I think it does allow more access and more people. They don't necessarily have to come. We can, they can watch and see what's going on. We can also record it and they can view it later, which I think is also a pro. We may have people who just decide not to attend and attend online, which, it's good to have people here, but so I think it's something we have to do and have to talk about and decide whether or not we want to do that moving forward. Obviously, there's some logistical issues depending on where we are. It works well here, will it work in the other locations? But I think it's something we ought to talk about moving forward. On the 21st, we're going to have our retreat, and the New York State School Board Association is going to come and do have a goal set and work on that, and also talk to us about roles and responsibilities of the board. Normally, we include the administrators in our retreats. We're not going to this time because it's really going to be more focused on us However, the next regular meeting, which I think is on the 4th, we're going to try and do a meet and greet with us and all of the administrators, so we can kind of just meet and talk and get to know each other. And then, depending on how the NISBA part of our retreat goes, we may do some goal setting actually in the meeting there, but we'll see, we'll kind of see what we learn in the retreat on how to do that. We approved our meeting schedule for next year. Some of the locations changed from the original copy that was sent out, so make sure you use the one that was in this Reggie notice, that we weren't being equitable in all of the buildings. And then there were a couple of meetings where, particularly the budget meeting that we had scheduled in Center Street, which is not big enough for that type of meeting, so we moved that to another location. So make sure that you make note of that. And I just want to say thank you for instilling your trust in Amy and I again. We have talked about it, and it's something that we do enjoy doing, and we certainly appreciate the trust that you've placed in us and being in the leadership positions. So thank you for that. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn to executive session for the purposes of special education and personnel.
So,
All in favor? Opposed? We're adjourned.